Hello, my favorite people. We are back today on the channel. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a good weekend. I thought to myself, what can I film this week? Because I want to chat to the camera, maybe not do an experience. And I've been getting a lot of questions about fitness. I think it's because we're in winter in Australia and I love talking about my fitness journey. So I thought we can do a get ready with me while I chat about that and answer some of your questions. I put up a question box in my close friends broadcast channel over on Instagram, and if you're not in that, please go and join it. I might even put an upcoming giveaway in there. Anyway, without any further waiting, let's get into it. I'm not sure the mic is in the right spot, guys. Let me just fix this before we continue. And yes, I'm like plugged in because I don't want it to die. I'm just gonna keep chatting and I'll put the product names on the screen. This is my everyday makeup look at the moment and I do love it. I've changed a couple of things which I might talk you through when I get to. But let's go way back to when I first dipped my toes into health and fitness, because I've had a bit of an interesting journey and I have spoken about it on various platforms, but I'm keen to revisit it today. I didn't actually step foot into the gym until I was maybe 21, 22. It was after I came back from my very first Europe trip that I went into the gym. But I actually had some food struggles and body struggles in my late teens and early 20s, and I think they started around puberty because my body had changed. I developed boobs, I developed hips. I remember very vividly, I think I was like 14 at the time. I had this like pair of jeans that were my favorite. They were my favorite pair. I can't even remember what shop they were from. And one morning I put them on and they didn't fit me. They would not button up, and they didn't button up because my hips had like obviously grown, and that happens when you go through puberty, but I just didn't understand it. And I also think maybe growing up in a time where back in my day, oh, something's leaked in here. Shut up. Oh, that's annoying. This really is gonna feel like we're on FaceTime today. But yeah, I grew up in a time that very thin women were represented in the media. I also can't speak for men, but I feel like as women, you kind of do go through that as your body changes anyway. Around about that time, I developed some unhealthy behaviors with food, and I do speak about this more in depth on a podcast episode, which I'll also link below. Anyway, fast forward a few years, I head over to Europe for the first time. I go by myself, which was the best thing ever, and I go for 11 weeks or 12 weeks away from my family. While I'm over there, I have the time of my life, partying, drinking, eating, quite a bit. And when I came home from Europe, I had put on a significant amount of weight. And that's when I started, for the very first time ever, signing up with a PT. Can you believe I still haven't gone and got in a new one of these in the right shade? I need to go get some samples. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. That's literally what I said last weekend as well. Anyway, so I joined the first PT. That was that making sounds. And I lose a lot of the weight that I put on while I'm in Europe. And I also develop even worse habits around food and around my body. And this kind of continued from about, how old was I when I came back from Europe? 21 or 22? Honestly, until I was, when did I really fix my relationship with food and diet? Probably into my late 20s, around 27. But the thing that really helped shift my journey is I started powerlifting, and that changed a lot for me mentally, and that also changed a lot for me physically too. And I'll talk about the pros and cons of both of them. Now, my powerlifting era started in 2017 when I was 24, and it started because I had changed gyms, and the gym that I joined was a strength and conditioning gym, and they predominantly had powerlifters and bodybuilders there. I knew the dangers of bodybuilding, and I also knew what I was like when it came to food and my body, and I knew that bodybuilding was never going to be a safe option for me, and that is something that I would never have put myself through. But powerlifting, what I really liked about it and what I saw in the gym was that it became about what your body could do and how your body could lift the weight and how strong you could feel, rather than what your body looked like, which I didn't know it at the time, but looking back, it was the catalyst for me to move into a healthier place with my body, with the gym, with my food, and it changed my life, honestly, for the best. I did have a lot of fun powerlifting. Truly, I loved it. I was really strong in deadlifts and I'm really strong in squats. I do carry a lot of my weight in my legs. I've got good quads, I've got good glutes, and at one point I placed first, I think, in 2 competitions. I fully competed in powerlifting. Like, it wasn't just a hobby. I mean, it was a hobby, but I really went all in. And that is like another example of me, how I'm like 0 or nothing, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but I was really into it and I really gave it my all. So I placed first in 2 comps. I think I placed second in another 2 and maybe 4th or 3rd, I can't remember. But I competed over a long period of time, right up until I think 2020. I think COVID really shifted a lot of that for me. I just had a look on the database, and yes, my last competition was actually December of 2019. So it was right before COVID kind of popped off. Anyway, during this time as well, I was living in Sydney, and again, I was training at powerlifting gyms. And powerlifting gyms are elite because it's a real like subculture of community, and people are so nice. Like, when I tell you, the friends I made in Sydney were mainly through the gym and mainly through the powerlifting community, and so grateful for them and being away from like my old friends and my old gym. And I really become attached to whatever gym I go to because you talk and you lift the weights together and you see each other PB and you cheer each other on, and it's just such a really nice, wholesome experience. Anyway, COVID happens and it kind of just shakes everything up. At this point as well, it's important to mention that when I started training, not at the first PT, but all the PTs and coaches after that, I've been on a program literally ever since I reckon I've been about 23 years old, which I'm 31 now, so that's crazy. I've always followed some kind of structure in the gym, which I think has really helped me too. I've also cycled in and out of various diets and tracking and macros and stuff like that. I did stop tracking macros with a coach in, what year was it? Maybe 18 or 2019? Yes, it was that. And she was an amazing coach. I love her so much. I've got so much respect for her, and I think she's incredible with her clients. And she really got me off of tracking, which was nice because she focused a lot on like intuitive eating and making sure that I was just coming from a place that was to feel good and not obsessive. Because I do think that one of the risks with powerlifting is you can become very obsessive with the food that you eat. Even though it's not bodybuilding, you can become really fixated on, did I eat enough protein? Did I hit my calories? Am I going to PB in the gym? If you don't hit that weight in the gym, you can get upset with yourself. So she really got me to like this neutral point, and she did that before we went into COVID, and it was truly so helpful. And I reckon she also played a big catalyst in that too. During COVID, I struggle, like majorly struggle. I'm sure a lot of people can relate, especially if you're an avid gym goer. We couldn't go to the gym. It was really rough. My gym in Sydney was so good because they actually let me borrow equipment. They said, if you don't cancel your membership, you can take equipment home. So at one point in Sydney, in one of the townhouses I lived at, I fully had like a squat rack, barbell, weight plates. I had 120 kilos of weight. I had dumbbells, I had kettlebells, and this was on lease from my gym. Training at home is probably not the vibe though. I didn't like it. I love going into the gym. I love the atmosphere. I love the music. I love seeing people. I'm a yapper in the gym. So I still trained during the first lockdown in Sydney in 2020. And then I moved back to Melbourne in 2021, and I didn't go to the gym because obviously the lockdown here was quite brutal, and I just focused on walking. So I did a lot of walking, and I was actually okay with the gym being closed. When we first had the lockdowns, I was beside myself because I was like, oh my God, the gym is for my mental health. I'm in such a better place. Like, how can I have this taken away from me? Like, it is my mental health. But that's where my love for walking came in. And I was like, wow, this is so underrated. And I mean, it's not underrated. People know that walking is good for you, but I didn't realize how good it was, and I didn't realize how nice it felt for me. I had changed coaches again at this time, and not for any reason other than I just probably didn't need the additional powerlifting support that I was getting, because I had made a decision not to compete again after that. And I just wanted to kind of go to the gym as like Gen Pop. Like, I just want to go to the gym, do my 4 sessions a week, keep my body moving, keep my body healthy, you know, keep looking after myself, keep following a program. But I just didn't really have any interest in competing again, and I didn't think I needed that level of coaching anymore. So I had left my coach Claudia at that point, and then I had started coaching with my coach Danny, again in Sydney. This happened kind of before I moved back, and Danny was a powerlifting coach. We had plans to do a comp, but fell through because of COVID. And then I really only stopped coaching with Danny in January this year, and that's when I joined the Train with Soph app. There's bloody Summer Fridays lip gloss on fucking everything. But it feels so crazy to revisit the journey after all this time. Absolutely wild. I'm gonna make a mess here. I'm scared. Can I do this while I'm talking to you guys? Let's see how good I am. Oh, she can. Has that got lip gloss on it? I should have grabbed a new one. It's fine. It's fine. It's just an everyday makeup look. Anyway, where are we now? Oh, we're up to like January this year. And where I'm at right now with my health and fitness is I'm just going to the gym 4 times a week. I follow my program. I love ticking off a program. I can't tell you, maybe it's because I'm a bit of a type A personality, but when I have a program, I'm like, I will follow this, I will do the structure, I will tick it off, and I do it. Like, I'm very disciplined in that sense, but I think that's like a personality type thing. I don't know. Like, I just think I've always been like that. I've always had a coach, and I've always been like, whatever you say, I will do, which can also be really dangerous if you have a coach that has a dangerous tactic. There's many ways to go about your health and fitness. Not every single way is made equal, and not every single way is healthy for you. So I did kind of learn that lesson the hard way at the start, and towards the end, not even, after that really bad experience with the first PT I had. And when I say bad experience, he had me under eating quite a bit and over exercising, and that just then caused more issues for me and kind of exacerbated the underlying issues I already had. Every other coach I had after that, they were education based, they were knowledge based, they were about teaching me how to make lifestyle changes and not doing like a quick fix or like a band-aid approach, which I really respect, and I can see how much healthier that option kind of was. As for where I'm at now, I'm very neutral. I'm neutral to food, I'm neutral to my body. I love the gym. I love the gym because of what it does for me up here in my brain. Obviously, the gym has a physical change on your body too, depending on what style of workout you're doing. But I just really go so that my mental health stays like this. Because when I don't go to the gym, or when I'm not moving my body and not getting those endorphins and those feel-good hormones, I can feel my mental health start to like become a bit more inconsistent. And it's not even that, it's more like like that when I'm not going. I also love that I'm in such a good place now that, you know, I can take a rest day and it's not a big deal, or I can enjoy takeaway food and it's not a big deal. I don't weigh myself anymore. I don't weigh food. The bad thing that I think happens when you do track and when you do understand like the nutrition in food, I just flicked myself in the eye. Even just like looking at a plate of food, I can calculate the macros, which is truly a bit fucked up. But you will notice as well in my videos, I never really show a full day of eating. I never show a full day of what I'm consuming. And I might show you some things, you know, if I've tried a new protein powder and I really like it, or if I'm obsessing over a certain meal and I really like it. I do just try to be like so neutral to food, and I never want anyone to like look at my content and think, oh, I need to eat like that, or I need to do this. And don't get me wrong, I love it if you try my recipes, and I love it if you want to increase your own protein intake, or maybe start the gym because you see the good effects it has on my brain. But yeah, I'm just really careful with the content I put out, because especially now as my accounts have obviously grown and stuff, like people following me in my early 20s would have seen like the type of content I was posting in terms of being so obsessed with my fitness and being so obsessed with the food I was eating. Like I used to post recipes and like post the macros. Like now I just post the recipe, and now I just post things here and there. I have gotten some hate in the past because I think people are like bothered that like I go to the gym, but then I'd still eat chocolate or still eat sugary treats or still eat ice cream or still eat takeaway. And I'm like, I am aiming for a balanced lifestyle. A lifestyle for me that is balanced means that I can eat the chocolate here and there. I can also go to the gym 4 days a week, and maybe one night a week I can get takeaway, or 2 nights a week, whatever. Like, I really kind of reject that like you have to be like 100% healthy or like eating clean foods. Like, that's just not it for me, and that's not healthy. I won't restrict a food unless I'm like allergic or unless it's causing a reaction for me. Aside from that, I would still try to eat a whole range of balanced foods, whole foods and soul foods. Also, I've got to definitely buy a new bloody highlighter, because what the hell is that? Now, I've got some questions from you guys from the broadcast channel, so let's answer those. The first question is, how did you manage to find time to go to the gym when you worked 9 to 5? And some of you might remember this as well. I've always been a morning gym girly, always. Like, I find it really difficult to train after work. There was a period in Sydney where I was training after hours, like after 5 p.m, and that was okay. But I just prefer now to get it out of the way in the morning. But when I did work 9 to 5 in my last role, I was a 5 a.m. gym girly. I would be up at 4:30, 4:45, and I'd go to the gym at 5, be done by 6, come home and get ready for work. And I know that that is like not realistic and not achievable for everybody. I know some people aren't morning people as well. I also don't think you need to train at 5 a.m. if you work 9 to 5. Like, you definitely can go after hours if it works for your schedule or it works for your routine. And that's what I always say. Like, even when it comes to what type of activity you're doing, you don't have to go to the gym because I go. You don't have to go at the time that I go. You can do fitness in your own way. You can do an activity, a physical activity in your own way, in your own time that feels good for you and that you have an enjoyment of doing. Like, I am not a runner. You're never gonna find me running. If I was told that like you have to run for your fitness, I'd be like, fuck that, I'm never doing that, because I've tried it and I don't like it. So I think finding what you like is really important, and then finding time in your schedule. I don't work a traditional 9 to 5 now. My hours are a lot more flexible and I'm very grateful for that, but I still train in the morning. Like, I am trying to get in at about 7 a.m. now, but sometimes it's 7:30, and I still try to do like the morning before the workday starts, just so I can get like the rest of my shit done. But yeah, that was the solution for me back in the day. The next question is, how do you stay motivated in winter for the gym? And truly, it is so a part of my routine now that if I don't go, I'm gonna feel worse. In saying that, it's hard as hell to get out of bed when it's -2 degrees and go and work out in a cold as fuck gym. But I do remind myself of future Adele, and I always say, after this workout, you're gonna feel better. I also put on a cute activewear set, because is there anything better? No. You're gonna have the best workout in a cute activewear set. And then I go in and I try to make it fun, whether that is, maybe I go in and I just do exercises I enjoy. And if I need to go off my program that day, fucking so be it. If I wanna train with somebody, whether it's a friend or my partner, let's do a session together. That can help you get that kind of morale up and that motivation up. I will say for me though, it is at a point now where it is just so ingrained in my routine, and I think it does come from that enjoyment that I get, and I know what happens to me when I don't go. So that's how I personally stay motivated. I'm curious, let me know in the comments how you guys find motivation, because yeah, I think it's like discipline, I think it's cute fit, and I think it's make it fun if you can. Speaking of the app, I did want to touch on it. I've recommended it before. I am a paying client, and I have also consumed Soph's content for a really long time. I also had her come on the podcast as well. I joined her in January just because the programming that I had before with Danny, it wasn't bad. I still love Danny, and I would recommend him as a coach to anybody as well. I will put all the links below for the coaches that I've mentioned in this video. But Danny, and the difference between like Danny and Soph, the training is very much the same. I will say on the Train with Soph app, the program I'm doing is like less powerlifting and more still strength, but not as much compound movements. So compound movements are squat, bench, deadlift. And I don't mind that. I still do some variations of squat, bench, or deadlift, but the difference is the app. And the app on Train with Soph is just very user-friendly. I'm gonna put some screenshots on the screen so you can see what I mean. It's easy to follow, it's easy to use, there's lots of information in there, there's lots of support in there, and I can't fault it. And I just think the ease of going in, doing your workout, ticking the boxes, It's beautiful, it's easy, and that's exactly what I need. If I can streamline that area, even better. I forgot my little winged eyeliner. I've been doing a little winged eyeliner lately. Let's see if I can do it with the mascara. I don't know, gotta concentrate for this part. Sorry, everybody. Oh no, is that okay? Yeah, that's all right, that'll do the trick. The concentration. Okay, I really wanted to answer this question as well. Thoughts on traditional gyms versus fitness classes. I've done both and I can see the positives in both. If you are just starting out, a class I think is a great way to dip your toes in and be in a controlled environment where you can like learn off the people around you and learn off the person taking the class. If you're, you know, a little bit more confident and you are still a beginner, you can still go into the gym by yourself and do a session. If you search shy girl workouts on TikTok, you can see some workouts that you can do that are like in a certain section of the gym where you don't have to kind of walk around and use a lot of machines. I like those variations, but I think much of a muchness. If I didn't like the gym, would I do classes instead? Absolutely. If I didn't like the gym, would I do Pilates instead? Absolutely. If I didn't like the gym, would I do running instead? Absolutely. I just really, really like the gym. I really like following my program and I like the freedom to just go in, train on the gym floor and do what I want to do and do what my program says I should do. Considering this is so leaky, I'm actually gonna go and put it in the freaking bin right now. There was still product in that, but it was just too messy. It's gone all over everything. I need to clean my makeup bag. I also need to, oh, that's okay from the headband. I just washed my hair this morning and it feels so good. So happy. Couple more questions and then we'll wrap the video and I can get into the day. But the next one is, how do you find that feeling of accomplishment at the gym and not burning out? And this goes back to what I said before. Having a balanced approach, not only to your food, but to the gym is so important. I have gone through phases of my life, especially at the start, where I thought exercising every day was the best thing. I thought doing multiple workouts a day was the best thing. That's not the best thing. That's not the safest thing. That's not the best thing for my body or the healthiest thing for my body. And knowing what I know now from the education I've learned in health and in fitness is that rest is so important for your body. Taking rest days is so important. At one point, I was doing 5 days in the gym. I could definitely go back up to 5 days if I wanted, but 4 days for me is like the happy spot. I get 3 rest days, 4 days in the gym. On my rest days, I can still do a walk or something else, and my body feels good. Of course, whenever I start a new program or a new exercise, I get some muscle soreness, you know, the DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, but it goes away after the first week or two and I adjust. And so I do really think it's about balance, and I do really think it's about allowing your body to rest and actually taking your rest days and making sure you're not burning yourself out, because how is your body going to progress or get stronger or get fitter or you actually feel better if you are burning it to the ground every single session and going every single day? So finding that harmony is really important. I'm just looking for some quick ones that we can answer. Can you recommend some good protein powders? Yes, the one I'm taking at the moment is R1, Rule 1, and I'm doing cookies and cream. I did try the choc peanut. My man's let me borrow his because he uses that protein and he swears by it. He says it's delicious. So I was like, oh, let me try it. And so I tried it and I was hooked. And so I think if you're drinking the protein in a protein shake, that one is really smooth and easy to digest, doesn't irritate my tummy, doesn't give me the bad effects that some protein powders can. I will say when it comes to baking and cooking, the only one I've used is Naked Harvest, the pancake batter, and I do really like that one for cooking, not for drinking, because I find it a bit thick and a bit, I think it's a psyllium husk in it that makes it thick. Still saying that, I still love it for pancakes, and I've got a pack in my pantry that I will start doing protein pancakes with because I've been craving them and craving some warmer foods, especially like breakfast foods. I go through phases with the seasons. And what other protein have I tried in the past? Muscle Nation. I used to do their protein custard, which was really yummy as well. So probably recommend that. I haven't tried anything else, but I can vouch for the R1 and I've been loving it. I bought the big tub, which you would have seen in the vlog, and I will be repurchasing, but I'm gonna try different flavors, and then maybe once I've tried a few flavors, I can give you an update on which ones I think are really yummy. And then the last question I'll answer on this video is, would you recommend engaging a PT to start off with a fitness journey? And yes, especially if you really want to invest in yourself and have some like buy-in, I think it can be a good way to kind of put some skin in the game. But tread carefully, because like I said, not all PTs, not all coaches are made equal. So do your research, look at their results, look at the type of content they're putting out, and then look at that content and think, can I really fit this into my lifestyle? Because I think the misconception with a lot of people when it comes to health and fitness is like, they do want that band-aid, they do want that quick fix. That's not sustainable. That's not going to be something that you can then carry on for the rest of your life. So I personally have found the most success with coaches and PTs who have made it a lifestyle change and who have tried to teach me how to integrate activity into my life, how to have a more balanced approach to food, how to be more balanced just in general, rather than swinging from like one end to the other of the spectrum. So tread carefully with that, do your research, talk to people as well. If there's, you know, people that you follow and you see progress, ask them how they're going with it. Ask them how their journey is. If you see someone in the gym, and I've done this before, I've seen like girls in the gym and I've gone up to them and I've been like, what program are you on? I see your workouts, they look really fun. And a lot of the time they'll say, oh, I'm with this person, or I'm with that person, or I do my own program. So I can always see the benefit for having that help. And I do recommend it, especially if you are starting out. Right now, do I personally need a program or a coach? Probably not, because I think I'm quite advanced in the gym. Obviously, there's going to be movements that I don't know how to do. Obviously, I'm not a PT at the end of the day. I just love moving my body, but I can see the value of what I've learned over all these years. And I'm rambling now, so I'm going to shut up. And I am going to leave it there. I really liked doing this chatty get ready with me for YouTube. So if there's any other topics you want me to cover, please let me know. I'll quickly get ready and then I'll say goodbye to you guys. Okay, I am all done. Thank you so much for getting ready with me this morning, you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this channel. Thank you if you have subscribed. If you haven't, this is your sign and reminder to please do it. Leave me a comment below and I will see you tomorrow in the vlog. Bye. Testing actually this time. This is actually how I have to check it. I have to go in another room and see if I can still fucking hear it. Final test, because I'm gonna pop the mic on charge as I'm using it because I'm scared it's gonna die. Let's see if that works.